The 2004 NFL Draft is one of the best draft classes of all time. The top 10 picks selected in this draft are nothing short of spectacular. It included 7 Pro Bowlers, Hall of Fame level players, franchise quarterbacks, and a few players that casual fans may have never even heard of. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. With the first pick in the 2004 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers selected Eli Manning. Manning was picked by the Chargers at number 1, but he was clear he would not play for them. This forced the Chargers' hand, and 45 minutes after selecting Manning, he was traded to the Giants. Manning was the most complete player in the draft and was looked at as a home run draft prospect. He possessed excellent arm talent, great touch, good vision, and the poise you would want to see from a franchise quarterback. His rookie year was relatively quiet. Kurt Warner was the Giants' opening day starter, but Manning did see limited playing time, putting up bad numbers and sporting a 1-6 record. Manning's first few seasons of starting were good but not great. The gunslinger was turnover prone, and in his first playoff game in the 2005 season, he went 10 of 18 for 113 yards and 3 interceptions. 2006 was more of the same for Eli, and the Giants missed the playoffs. The 2007 season is when Manning established himself as one of the most clutch QBs of all time. The Giants made the playoffs as a wildcard team with no expectations of making a deep run. Well, they did, and Manning is a big reason why. As a 12.5 point underdog, Manning led the Giants to defeat Tom Brady and the undefeated Patriots. This was a David and Goliath battle, with David coming out on top. The next few seasons, the Giants and Manning could not find that magic. But in 2011, the Giants once again snuck in the playoffs with the worst record of any NFC playoff team. Manning led the Giants on a Cinderella run once again. After defeating the Falcons, top-seeded Packers, and the 49ers, Manning found himself facing off against the GOAT once again. In the most watched program in the history of the United States television, Manning once again took down Tom Brady and the dominant Patriots. Manning went on to play 8 more seasons with the Giants, but never saw that postseason success again. Manning is not looked at as a dominant quarterback like his brother Peyton, but he is looked at as one of the most clutch quarterbacks of all time and will most likely be selected in Canton one day because of his historic playoff runs. With the second pick in the 2004 draft, the Oakland Raiders selected Robert Gallery. The giant offensive tackle out of Iowa, Gallery was viewed as a dominant player and was looked at as the best offensive line prospect since Orlando Pace. He was a 2-time first-team All-Big Ten selection, unanimous first-team All-American, and won the Outland Trophy as the best lineman in the country during the 2003 season. Gallery started off his career with a bang. He only allowed 6.5 sacks in his first 2 seasons while playing on a terrible Raiders team. Coming into 2006, Oakland decided to move him to left tackle. This move proved to be detrimental to Gallery's career. Despite sitting out 6 games during the 2006 season, Gallery allowed 10.5 sacks in only 10 games played. He proved he could not protect the quarterback's blindside as he had real troubles dealing with speedy pass rushers. New head coach Lane Kiffin moved Gallery to left guard in 2007. He actually played pretty well at left guard under Tom Cable's guidance. Oakland fired Cable following a mediocre season, and Gallery followed him to play for Seattle. After 1 season of underwhelming play with the Seahawks, Gallery was released. He then went on to sign a 1-year deal with the Patriots, hoping to end his career on a high note. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him in New England. After never playing a snap, the Patriots released him and he retired from professional football in 2012. With the third pick in the 2004 draft, the Arizona Cardinals selected Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald was phenomenal while playing at Pittsburgh. He won the Biletnikoff Award, set an NCAA record by catching a touchdown pass in 18 consecutive games, and broke another record for catches by a sophomore, beating Randy Moss's previous record. Although, many scouts had wide receiver Roy Williams ranked ahead of Fitzgerald. NFL analyst Rick Gosselin surveyed 23 teams the week of the 2004 draft, and 15 of them had Williams ranked ahead of Fitzgerald. It's safe to say he proved those 15 scouts to be very, very wrong. Most know the story of Larry Fitzgerald, and it was nothing short of spectacular. He played all 16 of his seasons with the Cardinals and has a very long list of awards to back up his great resume to be in Canton one day. Fitzgerald is an 11-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL receptions leader, 2-time NFL receiving touchdown leader, Walter Payton Man of the Year, and on the 2010s All-Decade team. The numbers speak for themselves with Fitzgerald, and he is one of the best all-around wide receivers that the NFL has ever seen. He's not in Canton currently, but will surely be a first-ballot Hall of Famer one day. With the 4th pick in the 2004 draft, the New York Giants selected Phillip Rivers. Rivers was traded to San Diego in the Eli Manning trade. And although the Giants got their guy in Eli, it's safe to say the Chargers are pretty thankful to have acquired Rivers. Rivers was a great college quarterback at North Carolina State and won the NCAA passing title as a senior in 2003. Although some scouts were concerned with his arm strength and funky delivery. Rivers sat his first 2 seasons at San Diego behind Drew Brees. The Chargers then let Brees hit free agency in 2006 and turned the job to Rivers. He led the Chargers to a franchise record 14 victories that season. He went on to start 14 seasons for the Chargers, posting a 123-101 record, won an NFL passing title in 2008, and made 8 Pro Bowls. Rivers unfortunately never led the Chargers to a Super Bowl appearance, but will still be looked at as an all-time great. He went on to play 1 more year with the Colts and shortly after retired. He is the 5th all-time leader in both passing yards and touchdowns behind only Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Brett Favre. With the 5th pick in the 2004 draft, the Washington Redskins selected Sean Taylor. Certain analysts had Taylor listed as the best player in this draft. The 6'2", 230-pound safety out of Miami was the ultimate playmaker. The first out of a record-setting 6 Miami players going in the first round. Taylor played great football his rookie year as he recorded 76 combined tackles, 9 pass deflections, 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and a sack in 15 games. In 2005, Taylor maintained his solid play and helped Washington make the playoffs, although he did get into some trouble with the league. After recording a 51-yard touchdown on a fumble recovery in the wildcard round against the Bucs, referee Mike Carey ejected Taylor for allegedly spitting in the face of running back Michael Pittman. Taylor denied this was true, but also had another incident in spitting in the face of wide receiver TJ Houshmandzadeh. The Redskins ended up beating Tampa Bay, but lost the next round to Seattle. Taylor's best season came in 2006. He finished the year with 111 combined tackles, 3 forced fumbles, 1 interception, 6 pass deflections, and made his first Pro Bowl. The hype was immense for Taylor, and prior to the 2007 season, Sports Illustrated named Taylor as the hardest hitting player in the NFL. Taylor played in 9 games this season before being tragically killed. He was shot by armed intruders and died the following day. Taylor was inducted as the 43rd member into the Washington Redskins Ring of Fame on November 30th, 2008, and his legacy will always be remembered. With the 6th pick in the 2004 draft, the Cleveland Browns selected Kellen Winslow II. Another Miami player taken in the top 10, Winslow won the Mackey Award and was a first-team All-American during his playing days for the U. He was the highest selected tight end in more than 30 years. 2 games into his rookie season, he suffered a broken right fibula, which kept him sidelined for the remainder of his rookie year. After recovering from this injury, he suffered another leg injury in a motorcycle accident, causing him to miss the entire 2005 season. 2006 was his first fully legit season, and he immediately looked the part, finishing the year with 89 receptions, leading all tight ends, and also tying Ozzie Newsome's all-time franchise record for receptions in a season. 2007 was the peak of Winslow's career. He finished the year with 82 receptions, 1,106 receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns, while also being named to his first Pro Bowl. In 2008, Winslow was hospitalized with a staph infection and missed a large portion of the year due to this. Cleveland at this point had enough and shipped him out to Tampa Bay for a 2nd and 5th round pick. Tampa Bay gave him the biggest contract for a tight end in NFL history, with a deal over 6 years for $36 million. Winslow went on to have a few solid seasons for the Bucs, but in 2012, Tampa Bay announced that he would either be traded or released. This resulted in him being traded to Seattle, but he never played a snap for the Seahawks and was released after he chose not to reduce his salary. He had a few more stops with the Patriots and Jets, putting up minimal numbers. And most recently, in 2016, he attempted a comeback but was never picked up by another squad. With the 7th pick in the 2004 draft, the Detroit Lions selected Roy Williams. Seen as arguably the best wide receiver in the draft, the former Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year landed in Detroit. Williams saw success early in Detroit. He set Lions rookie records with 54 receptions for 817 yards and 8 touchdowns in 12 games played. In 2006, Williams exploded and looked like a top wide receiver in the league. He recorded 1,310 receiving yards, ranking first in the NFC, averaged 16 yards per catch, ranking first in the NFL, had 24 catches of 20-plus yards, ranking first in the NFL, and was named to his first and only Pro Bowl. Williams was later shipped out of Detroit to Dallas in exchange for a 1st, 3rd, and 6th round pick. The expectations were set high for Williams, playing alongside legendary wide receiver Terrell Owens. In his first season with Dallas, he did not live up to the hype. Coming into year 2 with Dallas, Williams was now the guy after T.O. was released. Unfortunately, he was never the guy for Dallas, as Miles Austin emerged as the new #1 receiver, and in 2010, Dallas drafted Dez Bryant, signaling the end of his time in Dallas. His last stint came in Chicago, and after below-average play there, he ended up retiring prior to the 2012 season. With the 8th pick in the 2004 draft, the Atlanta Falcons selected Deangelo Hall. The safety out of Virginia Tech saw great success in college, as he was named to a second-team All-American and was a semifinalist for the Jim Thorpe Award. Hall saw a great deal of success in Atlanta, as he was named to the Pro Bowl twice and did a solid job on opposing teams' #1 wide receivers, often guarding guys like Terrell Owens and Chad Johnson. He and Ocho Cinco had a wager prior to their upcoming matchup in 2006. Should Johnson catch 2 touchdown passes, Hall would have to wait tables in an Atlanta restaurant. If Johnson failed the 2 touchdown mark, he would be forced to shave his bleach blonde mohawk that he had grown. Johnson only scored 1 touchdown and held up his end of the bargain. Hall was traded out of Atlanta to Oakland in 2008 and landed a 7-year, $70 million deal. However, Oakland released Hall halfway through his first season, and then he went on to sign with the Redskins. Hall played the duration of his career with the Redskins, recording 1 more Pro Bowl stint, and was overall a very solid player for Washington. With the 9th pick in the 2004 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected Reggie Williams. The 3rd wide receiver taken in this draft, Williams was a big body possession receiver that saw a great deal of success while playing for the Washington Huskies in college. Williams was extremely disappointing in his rookie year, while only putting up 268 yards and 1 touchdown while playing in all 16 games. In year 2, he had a great first half of the season, but after suffering a concussion, his second half of the year was pretty underwhelming. His highlight in the NFL came in 2007, as he broke the Jags' single-season receiving touchdown record with 10 scores. Although he was a solid red zone target and broke a team record, his overall play was below average, and it's safe to say he did not live up to the hype of a top 10 draft selection. He most recently had stints in the UFL and CFL. With the 10th pick in the 2004 draft, the Houston Texans selected Dunta Robinson. Robinson had a great rookie year for the Texans, starting all 16 games, recording 87 tackles and 6 interceptions. Although his play fell off the following few seasons, Robinson became the all-time Texans interceptions leader with 13. In 2009, he became the first Texan in franchise history to receive the franchise tag. He was upset by this and wore shoes stating, "Pay me Rick," directed at Texans GM Rick Smith. After Smith decided not to give him a long-term deal, Robinson landed a 6-year, $54 million deal with the Falcons. After a few seasons of unspectacular play and repeated personal fouls for personal hits on wide receivers, the Falcons released Robinson. Lastly, he signed a 1-year deal with the Chiefs, and after playing in 8 games, he was released. The 2004 NFL Draft is a star-studded crop, with Hall of Fame players, what could have been stories, and some flat-out misses. This top 10 crop is one of the most impressive in NFL draft history, with 7 Pro Bowlers, one of the best wide receivers ever, and a few all-time greats at the quarterback position. We have to look at this draft crop as one to remember.